Yeah, just talking about bouncing back from Arkansas match, going back on the road, another hostile environment probably. Just talk about doing that. Bouncing back from Arkansas loss.
Oh, I think that we just need to take what we learned this week and just reflect on everything and then move past it and take it and just use it to do well this weekend.
What was the focus in training after that one where you put yourselves in a chance to win, but second half kind of capitulate with them scoring 3 goals?
Wait. What was the focus of today's training?
Just this week. Recovering from that match. What have you focused on in response to that?
We've been focusing on our style of play, just making sure that we stick to our non-negotiables, and stay true to what we do.
And what do you know about this Florida team that you're going to play?
I know that it's going to be, it's pretty similar to kind of how Arkansas plays. We just need to come out strong and just stick to our style of play throughout the game.
And just talk about, playing on this team as a freshman, and what have you learned so far?
Honestly, I've learned a lot as a freshman coming in. It's definitely a lot different than playing in high school and playing club and stuff. The standards are so much higher and everyone holds you accountable, and it's just a much higher intense training environment and everything. So
how did you kind of find the role that you've been playing for this team off the left as somebody who can spread things out wide as a winger but also cut inside and create goals?
How did I find?
Yeah, how did you come across that position? Was it something that you played in high school? Or?
Actually, before I came here, I was a forward, and then when I got here, I just kind of got moved to the midfield, and then they kind of noticed that I like to cut inside and shoot with my right and stuff a lot. So I think that's kind of why they would like to put me on the left as well.
Were the defensive responsibilities that come with that position a change for you with forward being your previous position?
Yeah, they definitely were. It definitely was a big change, but we worked a lot, especially in the spring when I came. We worked a lot on our press and how we're going to defend as a unit. So I learned a lot through that, which is why I'm able to execute that now.
Talk about playing on the road with other players during the season. Of course, you got back-to-back road trips, Arkansas and Florida. Just talk about going from one to the other, and what do you think about those road trips?
Honestly, the traveling was definitely a change as well, because I feel when I played before I got here, the travel didn't really affect me as much. But when the first time we traveled, I definitely noticed it's a lot harder to play on the road than it is at home. But I think it's gotten better. I think it's just getting used to it, and I think I've definitely gotten more accustomed to it now.
The same thing I asked Hayden. You're a freshman as well, right?
Yes, sir.
So just talk about that adjustment to coming in.
Yeah, it's super exciting how I'm getting to contribute to the team. It's great to have leaders like Allie Perry and Zoe Main. Just being able to watch them, listen to them, learn from them. So I'm super thankful for the leadership we have on this team and just the opportunities that I'm getting.
Did you come in thinking that you would be, starting so many games?
Heck no. No, it took a lot, to be honest. Just learning, listening, taking information from the coaches and the players around me. Just tons and tons of learning. And again, I'm just super thankful to be able to have this opportunity and continue just to strive to contribute to my team.
I know Gainesville's a little bit further north than Orlando, but you're expecting to have some people there?
Yes, I'm so excited to go home. I'll have a lot of friends and family from high school, and then obviously my whole family will be there, so it's going to be great. Even though it's not my home crowd, it'll feel like home.
Coach, just talk about how your freshmen have come in, and we talked to a couple of them just then, Tatum and Ellen. Just talk about what they've contributed to the program.
Yeah, they're awesome kids, first and foremost, right? I mean, they're the type of players that you want to be a part of your program, right? They embody the core values. They do all the things right, both on and off the field, and they've continued to grow at different rates throughout the spring and now. And for them to continue to be so hungry and ambitious in their development, it's, as a coach, it's everything that you want. So really, really proud of them and where they're at right now, but also as they've continued to be thrown into certain situations, they've enjoyed it, they've embraced it, and they've continuing to look to get better.
But coming into the season, there was a need at several positions. Obviously, with how many seniors were leaving last year, filling starting roles in competition for those places, and with how many freshmen have made a contribution for you in this season and have been successful so far. What were the conditions, leading up to that, where they came in maybe not expecting to start, but they're
Yeah, I
playing a
mean,
big
when we
role.
go through the recruiting process, right? I mean, every single player that we go through the process with is, we say this: we'll never guarantee you a starting spot or playing time. That's going to come down to you. But the expectation is if we're going through this process, the hope is that you come in and compete to play right away, and only they'll dictate. Do they do all the things, in the off season, the winter packet, the summer packet? Are they putting themselves in an environment to get better? So, we knew that they were really good footballers. We knew they were unbelievable human beings, and to be able to see them have the amount of minutes that they've got and the roles that they've kind of started to really embrace, it's been really cool to see.
Another road trip, coming off of a road trip, so hadn't had a whole lot of back-to-backs like that, but just talk about bouncing back in another place. I'm sure
I
it's
mean,
tough to play.
we did it, in Baylor, right? You're looking to how do we respond? Obviously last week was an emotional week for a lot of different reasons. You have the Magnolia Cup on Thursday night, against an Ole Miss team that's coming in looking to, to win it. And then you go on the road to a place that they haven't lost in the SEC in 5 years, and putting this young group in that environment was awesome. That was great. We said it after the game. We got so much better because of this opportunity. We learned so much about our group, both really, really positive things and then things that we've got to continue to work on. But those are the games that you really, really, really look back on and go, hey, that was a defining moment in our season. And so for us, it was, again, this losses, sometimes you lose. You learn a lot more when you have those kinds of results, but for the most part, we always talk about performance over results. Sometimes you're going to have a really good performance and not get the result, and we talk about losing versus being beaten, and we got beat. We didn't lose. We lost against Baylor. We got beaten against Arkansas, but that's okay. It's part of our process and our journey. So we know it's a tough place to play on Friday. At Florida, they've got, I think, 4 games unbeaten. So coming in with a ton of confidence. I'm sure that it'll be a good crowd. So we know that we're going to have to put together a complete 90 minutes and go there with the mentality that we're going to have to fight and compete.
It's not often that, I guess, you go on the road and experience the kind of environment that you guys have fostered here over the last couple of years. But to see that at Arkansas, how much of a factor was that in, things you can take away from a tough road game?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of the toughest places to play in the country. You look there, you look at, BYU in Provo when they have 3,000-4,000. Really the difference is it's just like home. It's just they're not cheering for you away. They had, I think, close to 2,000 like we had against Ole Miss, and in games past. So it's a tough environment. And it was, like I said, we loved it. We loved being in that environment. And as we move forward with the scheduling and non-conference, we're going to continue to put ourselves in games like that outside of conference as well to make sure that we're acclimated for everything, and we're using every one of those games as opportunities to get better.
And you mentioned last week on the radio show that Pep Guardiola was one of your influences,
Yeah.
But stylistically, I mean, you've helped build a program here where you're able to play in those situations. You can recruit the players to help you play in that way, where you can control the game and control the tempo. How much, or what does it say about these freshmen and sophomores that come in, fresh out of high school, and they're able to fit that system?
Yeah, I mean, it's a testament to them, right, on how intentional they are and how intentional we are as a program of what we want to do and how we want to play. I think it's pretty clear what our identity is, and to have that so early on, but also with such a new group, is really kind of unique, and it's one that we're going to continue to lean into. Arkansas makes it very, very difficult to play, and we had spells where we did, and then we had spells where we didn't, and it was, like I said, it was a great game for us to learn and understand how do we play our style in an environment like that. Florida, we're going to try and do what we've done all season and get back to our true identity of keeping the ball, moving it with rhythm and tempo.